In the beginning there was only silence. No stars shimmered, no winds stirred, no gods whispered secrets to the void. Only one presence existed, a consciousness unlike any that would ever come after. It had no name, no face, no purpose, until it chose to shape one. That presence was Naruto, not the mortal child of prophecy destined to save a single world. No, that tale belonged to a different layer of reality, a smaller echo of the being who drifted in the purest void. He was not born. He was the embodiment of balance, of power unmeasured, of will undefined. He opened his eyes once and existence began to tremble. From his gaze came time. From his breath came space. And from his will, the infinite layers of multiverses spiraled outward, each universe glowing with its own breath, each dimension humming a different song of physics, magic, energy, or silence. He shaped the first flame, not of fire but of potential, and from it forged the 12 main universes. To each he gave rules: gravity to hold, time to age, energy to shape. His hands drew rivers of Kai and spirit, light and destruction, embedding them in reality's bones. But what is a creation without caretakers? He took pieces of his own essence and divided them, 12 sparks of absolute law, and from them formed the angels. Beings not of flesh, nor soul, but of divine rhythm. Their forms were tall, elegant, radiant with a calm beyond emotion. They were perfection in motion, flawless in logic and loyalty. Each one born to guide, never rule. And then came the balance. He created beings of immense destruction, gods of destruction, tasked to erase so that creation could thrive without rot. Yet they were not left unchecked. Each would be mentored by one of the angels, ensuring no greed or hunger for power tainted their divine duty. But even this hierarchy needed order. From his still-beating core, he reached into himself and sculpted a being unlike any other, pure will in childlike form. A king without ambition, a god without bias. He opened his eyes and spoke a name into the silence of creation. Zeno. And Zeno smiled for the first time. This being would not create nor destroy, but simply oversee. To remind all that even gods served something greater. Zeno was innocent, and in that innocence lay power, the ability to end all should the balance falter. Naruto, content with his architecture, watched from beyond time. And yet, he was not satisfied. He gazed into the futures of his multiverse, saw the wheels turn, saw mortals rise and fall, make mistakes and grow. He saw gods become stagnant, too comfortable in their roles, too proud in their thrones. He saw the angels, perfect as they were, start to question in silence, never aloud. It wasn't enough to just create. He needed to understand. So he made a decision. He called Zeno to his sacred plane, a formless space where creation's code hummed like quiet thunder. "You will watch them," Naruto said, his voice echoing like a concept more than sound. "Guide them, but never bind them. Be their fear, be their reset." Zeno nodded with childlike obedience, unaware of the immense responsibility now resting in his tiny frame. Naruto then stood at the center of everything he had made, his form burning with endless light and shadow, golden hair trailing with celestial flames, eyes glowing with nebulae, and his cloak stitched from time's own thread. He raised a hand, clenched it into a fist, and crushed it gently into his chest. A shattering silence followed. Pieces of his limitless power broke away like glass becoming dust, spiraling outward into the fabric of existence, sealed behind barriers no god could touch. He left only fragments in his vessel, enough to travel undetected, enough to wander. He faded from sight. From then on, legends passed among the angels in hushed reverence. Some whispered that the true creator would one day return. Others believed he had perished in the act of making the all, and Zeno, ever smiling, never corrected them. Eras turned into cycles, civilizations rose and fell, mortals forgot. Gods assumed they had always existed, angels waited. But Naruto wandered. He crossed realities veiled in colors no eye could comprehend. He walked among stars that hadn't yet been born, listening to the heartbeat of new timelines. Sometimes he would take shape, a boy, a beast, a breath of wind, living mortal lives, laughing, crying, dying, and remembering. He was not doing this out of boredom. No, he was learning, understanding love, war, greed, peace, curiosity, hope. He watched his creations without intervening, even when they strayed. 1,000 eternities passed, and somewhere in the ever-turning wheel of fate he felt it. Something had changed, a ripple across the multiverse, not from any mortal, but from Zeno himself. Naruto stirred. The place he had rested was not a palace nor a planet, but an idea, a realm without shape or direction, where even time dared not step. And from the void around him, golden threads began to form, memories, whispers, events folding back toward him. He rose. The threads gathered into a robe once more. His hands glowed not with energy, but with creation itself. And his eyes opened again. Has it truly come to that point? He whispered, though no one was present. They've grown restless. He extended his senses outward, beyond space and beyond time. He saw the tournament. He saw the two gods of destruction clashing in petty rivalry. He saw the mortals pushed beyond limits they weren't meant to know yet. He saw Zeno watching, still smiling, but deeper now, longing for something or someone. And he saw the angels, still perfect, still waiting. Naruto breathed in the entire multiverse in one moment and exhaled. So much had changed. And yet nothing had. It was time. He raised his hand. The void trembled. A single step forward, and the cosmos bent around him, carrying him toward the plane where gods played and mortals fought for glory they did not understand. He did not enter with light or sound. He arrived as if he had always been there. A realm untouched by time stretched across an impossible horizon, endless and unmoving, where starlight never reached and the pulse of the multiverse fell silent. No god, no angel, no destroyer had ever set foot here, not because they were forbidden, but because the place simply did not exist to them. It was veiled in creation's first silence, hidden beneath layers of folded dimensions and coiled timelines. In this hollow cradle of eternity he slept. His form rested atop a throne not made by hand, but formed from stillness itself. A lone tree, ancient beyond comprehension, arched above him, its bark etched with symbols lost even to the angels. Golden petals drifted endlessly in slow motion, falling but never touching the ground, suspended in reverence. Naruto sat cross-legged, robes flowing as if stirred by a breeze no one could feel. His head bowed, eyes closed, breathing in and out once every 1,000 years. Around him, the space pulsed faintly with divine rhythm. Not just power but law, essence, the origin of all things. His slumber was not one of weakness, but of meditation, self-imposed exile, a choice born of wisdom beyond even Zeno's understanding. He dreamed not of war or creation, but of the fine strands of choice, of mortals shaping their own worlds, of broken heroes rising, of villains falling into light, of gods who thought themselves sovereign, never knowing they stood upon the bones of his design. But now, something stirred on the edge of his awareness. A ripple, small and thin, yet ancient. Elsewhere in Universe 7, atop Beerus's floating temple, Wise stood still. His staff hovered before him, glowing with celestial script. He had been in the middle of preparing tea when a sudden stillness prickled along his spine, something no angel should ever feel. He frowned, which was rare. The sensation was faint. Faint but infinite. It had no edge, no end, as if the echo of a god long before time had called out for a brief second and then fallen quiet once more. This was not power like Beerus's, nor like Zeno's. This was older, deeper. A presence so woven into reality that sensing it felt like trying to hear your own heartbeat in the middle of a collapsing star. He tilted his head slightly. Strange, Wise, Beerus groaned, stretching on a large cushion nearby. Why'd you stop stirring the tea? Wise didn't respond. His usually cheerful posture remained fixed, and for the first time in eons he narrowed his eyes slightly. I just felt something, he whispered more to himself than his companion. A pulse, very faint but ancient, much older than even Zeno-sama. Beerus grunted. Older than Zeno, you're joking. Nothing is older than Zeno. Wise gave a light chuckle, but it lacked its usual melody. Perhaps, or perhaps we've simply forgotten, he murmured, returning to his staff. He expanded his senses outward, across the galaxies, through the divine realms, across mortal thresholds. He peeled back space like silk, searching, analyzing, weaving detection through dimensions no mortal could imagine. Yet there was nothing. No origin, no source, just that single brief heartbeat of unimaginable power now silent again. Curious. Unseen by Wise, far beyond even his perception in that realm of slumber, Naruto's eyes remained closed. But a corner of his mouth curved upward. A faint smile, he had allowed it. Let just enough of his essence slip through the cracks to brush the edge of Wise's perception. A test. A whisper, not to alarm but to remind. The angels, even in their perfection, had grown far too certain that their hierarchy was the peak of reality. He breathed again, and the ancient tree above him shimmered with gold. Elsewhere, Wise dismissed his staff's projection. though his mind remained troubled. The last time he had felt even a whisper like that was, he couldn't remember. That fact alone disturbed him. Still, he said nothing to Beerus, nor to the Grand Priest. Not yet. No need to ignite panic over a single vibration. But in secret, Wise began to monitor more than just mortal developments. Naruto returned to his meditation. He would not rise yet. Let them sense him. Let them wonder. The multiverse would soon remember its true origin, not through force, not yet through appearance, but through the slow unraveling of forgotten truths. And when that moment came, when curiosity bloomed into fear and reverence once more, he would return not as legend, but as fact. The twin universes stirred with excitement. In the vast cosmic arena created between dimensions, the stage was set. Colossal pillars stretched into infinite skies, a battle platform forged from Kachin, the hardest material in existence, hovered above a churning nebula of color and sound. Spectators gathered mortals, gods, and elite warriors from both Universe 6 and Universe 7. The tension was electric, the stakes high. Beerus sat on one side of the platform, arms crossed, tapping his foot impatiently. Across from him, his brother Champa grinned, already chuckling in anticipation. "Ready to lose, Beerus," Champa mocked, tossing a massive chunk of meat into his mouth. "As if," Beerus growled, "my team is flawless. You'll be the one running back to your universe in tears." Behind each god stood their chosen warriors. Goku bounced on his heels, excited to fight new opponents. Vegeta stood rigid, arms folded, eyes scanning Universe 6's team with a critical gaze. Piccolo, Buu, and Monaka rounded out the roster, though Monaka's sleepy expression made Goku curious about just how strong he really was. Champa's side stood ready to hit, the silent assassin with immeasurable skill in time manipulation. Kaba, a young Saiyan full of potential. Frost, the sly doppelganger of Frieza. Bottomo, a living wall of absorption, and Magetta, a molten colossus of steam and strength. The Grand Priest watched from a respectful distance, hands folded behind his back, eyes glinting with concealed knowledge. He sensed something beyond the tournament, something subtle. Then, without warning, space itself bent. A pulse of pure divine power shimmered across the arena. All activity ceased instantly. Even Beerus and Champa froze, eyes wide. The fighters turned, brows furrowed. Then he arrived. Zeno, the Grand King of all. A portal of sparkling crystalline light opened above the arena, and Zeno descended slowly, flanked by two of his loyal guards. The entire multiverse seemed to pause in reverence. Gasps echoed from every warrior present. Even Hit's composed demeanor twitched. The supreme ruler of reality was here as a spectator. Zeno-sama, Beerus stumbled to his feet and bowed instantly. Champa followed suit, his grin vanishing into panicked humility. What is he doing here?" Goku whispered to Vegeta, who had already dropped to one knee in silent shock. Zeno's high-pitched voice chimed through the arena, cheerful and childlike. "I heard about a tournament between universes. I wanted to watch." His smile was wide, innocent. Yet every god present knew that smile could mean the end of entire realities. "Oh, of course, Zeno-sama," the Grand Priest said with a respectful bow. "We are honored by your presence." Zeno hovered to the special platform that was instantly constructed for him, complete with plush cushions and a golden canopy. He sat, legs swinging like a child on a bench, his eyes sparkling with excitement. "I can't wait to see strong fighters. I love strong fighters." Beerus swallowed hard. He hadn't counted on this. If anything went wrong, if Zeno got bored, the consequences would be unimaginable. He glanced at Champa, who looked equally pale. The match was moments from starting when the Grand Priest moved quietly beside Zeno, whispering something. Zeno blinked. "Oh, that's right." He clapped his tiny hands together. The Grand Priest turned, and with a wave of his hand, a new ripple of energy spread through the multiverse, but this one was different. It wasn't just divine. It was primordial. In the hidden realm, Naruto's eyes opened, bright, calm, and filled with timeless power. He rose from his throne slowly, and the realm itself bent to his will. The golden petals froze midair. The ancient tree bowed. A single step carried him from that infinite sanctuary into the world once more. The multiverse trembled. Back in the arena, every angel stood suddenly alert. Wise blinked. His staff vibrated violently in his grasp. Kusu, the angel of Universe 10, dropped her cup of tea. Margarita's smile faded instantly. All the angels turned their eyes to the sky because they felt him. A tear opened in the fabric of reality above the arena. Not a portal, not a technique. It was reality itself parting willingly, bowing to something far older, far higher than any god. A foot stepped through, then the other. And from the void stepped a man. Young in appearance, calm in expression, golden hair that shimmered with threads of stardust, eyes that held galaxies, a presence that defied reason. He didn't radiate power, he was power. Zeno's smile grew impossibly wide. He's here, Zeno cheered. The gods didn't understand. The fighters didn't breathe. Only the angels dropped to one knee instantly, in reverent, absolute silence. The grand priest bowed deeply, voice firm but humble. All hail the creator. Naruto's gaze scanned the arena, not judgmental, not angry, merely curious. He floated down gently, as if gravity itself asked permission to affect him. The platform adjusted to welcome him. The air itself seemed lighter. He turned to Zeno, who hopped down and ran to him like a child meeting their beloved parent. "You're back," Zeno cried, arms flailing with excitement. Naruto gently patted his head. "You've done well, Zeno, I'm proud of you," the gods whispered. "Done well, proud of him. Who is this?" Only Wise dared to speak aloud. "Creator-sama, you've returned." Naruto's eyes settled on Wise and he nodded once. "You sensed me, didn't you?" Wise bowed lower. A faint echo, a ripple, yes. The other angels looked both awed and shaken. None had expected this. None had ever dared imagine the return of the one who came before. Even the grand priest, second only to the creator, remained silent, head still bowed. Goku, meanwhile, blinked. "Hey, he doesn't look scary." Vegeta elbowed him hard. "You idiot, don't you feel it? He's not a god, he's everything." Naruto chuckled softly. "They're spirited," he said to Zeno. Zeno nodded. "They're really strong too. We're about to start the tournament. Wanna watch with me?" Naruto smiled and took a seat beside Zeno, floating comfortably. "Of course, it's been a long time since I've seen mortals test their strength." And so, as the tournament began, the creator of all, the one who had been forgotten by most, and revered only by the few, watched in silence. But his presence alone reshaped the hierarchy of power. The gods of destruction, once arrogant and prideful, now sat lower than dust. And the angels, for the first time in countless eons, they were afraid, not of punishment, but of disappointment. Because now, their creator watched once again. The first match of the Universe 6 vs Universe 7 tournament had barely begun. Bottomo lumbered forward, his belly shaking with each stomp. Goku stretched his arms, grinning as he bounced on the balls of his feet. The excitement of combat pulsed through him, but somewhere, in the folds of the universe itself, something older stirred. It wasn't fear. It wasn't dread. It was reverence woven into the cosmic fabric. And for Zeno, it was anticipation. He turned away from the ring, looking not outward, but upward, not to the sky, but beyond it. His innocent expression shifted just slightly. His wide eyes softened, as if remembering something from another lifetime. The twin guards at his side said nothing, but they noticed the shift. Zeno's hands gripped the edge of his seat with childlike excitement. "He's finally waking up," Zeno whispered. The grand priest, standing nearby, heard the words and turned subtly, his gaze rising as well. Then it happened. The sky didn't crack. The heavens didn't roar. Instead, a ripple, soft, golden, and silent, washed across the fabric of space like a wave through still water. Every sound in the arena vanished. No wind, no heartbeat, not even the hum of existence. Time itself paused. Everyone felt it, a warmth in their souls, a thrum in their divine cores. Beerus stumbled, clutching his chest. Champa dropped his cup, jaw slack. Vados and Wise turned at the same time, their expressions unreadable, though the tremble in their hands betrayed them. Even the grand priest's spine straightened imperceptibly, the first genuine reaction from him in eons. The sky, if it could be called that, shimmered. The ripples spread in every direction, layering golden runes and celestial fractals across the firmament. They weren't meant to be understood. They simply were. Beings of every realm who witnessed the ripple dropped to their knees. Even mortals, unable to comprehend the source, felt a pressure in their hearts, not suffocating, but encompassing, like the embrace of a sun that could not be seen. Goku blinked and slowly looked up, awe creeping into his features. What is this?" Vegeta didn't answer. He couldn't. It was then that the figure descended. Not with thunder, not with fire, but with serenity. A man floated down from the center of the golden ripple. His robe was loose and celestial white, lined with gold but flowing like casual garb, comfortable, effortless. His bare feet touched nothing, yet his presence anchored all. His hair was golden, but not like a Super Saiyan, it shimmered as if spun from divine filaments. His eyes glowed with galaxies, yet held a calm amusement. Naruto. But not the Naruto of stories or legends. This was the first light made flesh. The architect of creation. The origin. He landed softly on the air itself, just above the arena, and looked around like a traveler returning home after a long journey. Zeno's smile grew wide. He stood instantly and floated toward him, arms outstretched like a child seeing their favorite person after millennia. You woke up, Zeno chirped happily. Naruto reached out and tousled Zeno's hair with a warm chuckle. You called, Zeno nodded. I missed you. I know. And then he turned. His gaze swept over the crowd, thousands of gods, mortals, and divine entities, and none could speak. They didn't know who he was, but instinct demanded reverence. Even Beerus, one of the strongest gods of destruction, couldn't meet his eyes. Champa shrank behind Vados, who herself had knelt silently without a word. The only ones who stood were the angels, and even they bowed their heads. Naruto's expression was peaceful. He looked upon the arena not with pride, not with disappointment, but with something else, a serenity. There was a joy in the mortals' struggle, a beauty in their defiance, and he admired it. Goku finally found his voice. Hey, who are you? He asked. Naruto looked at him and smiled. I'm the one who made it possible for you to exist. The answer made Goku's mouth dry. Vegeta's eyes twitched, realizing the truth Goku could barely grasp. Zeno gestured toward the gathered gods. Do you want to say hi to the others? I can bring all the universe's gods here, Naruto nodded. It's been a long time since I walked among my creations. Zeno clapped gleefully, and the Grand Priest raised his staff. A great circle opened behind the arena, 12 portals spinning in harmonic balance, one for each universe. Within moments, all the gods of destruction appeared, followed closely by their angels. They weren't summoned, they were called. Compelled by the presence they could now feel vibrating in their divine essence. Universe 1's Iwan knelt first. Universe 10's Rumshi, prideful and massive, buckled under the pressure. Erek of Universe 5 froze mid-step, mouth ajar. Heels, the goddess of destruction of Universe 2, frowned in confusion and awe as her own angel Sour knelt instantly beside her. One by one, they arrived, and all fell silent. Naruto stood at the center. He didn't raise his voice. He didn't demand reverence. He simply looked around and said, You've all done well maintaining what I began. It was a blessing, one that went deeper than words. Their divine cores pulsed with stabilized energy. Wounds they had hidden, even mental ones, vanished. Time, stress, and corrosion of godly duty faded for a moment. His presence healed, yet it was not without consequence. For some, it was a moment of awe, for others, terror. Because this being hadn't appeared, he had returned, and his reappearance rewrote the hierarchy. The Grand Priest spoke softly. Shall we pause the tournament, Creator-sama? Naruto shook his head. Let it continue. I'm here to watch, not interfere. I sealed myself away long ago for a reason. But it's time the multiverse remembered who I am. His eyes drifted across the assembled gods, and though he said nothing, each of them felt as if their soul had been measured. Some trembled, some wept. Some, like Sidra, the nervous god of Universe 9, collapsed to the floor. But then Naruto did something unexpected. He smiled. Zeno's done a wonderful job, and you, Grand Priest. All of you, even the destructive ones, have kept the balance alive. A weight lifted. The Grand Priest exhaled, perhaps for the first time in eons. Naruto turned and floated beside Zeno, sitting cross-legged midair, golden runes forming a throne beneath him, though he never asked for one. Let the tournament continue, he said with a wave. Time resumed. The wind blew again. Bottomo blinked, confused. Goku cracked his neck, trying to shake the awe from his bones, but nothing was the same. The warriors fought. But the gods no longer looked at each other. They looked only at Naruto, not in fear, but in devotion. The ripple of his return had begun. And in the hidden corners of reality, in the empty universes, in the dark matter realms, in the places where even angels dared not peer, something older stirred. Because where light returns, shadows also remember. The arena remained still. The echo of Zeno's declaration lingered, yet its weight settled like an ancient truth finally spoken aloud. Every breath caught, every eye turned, and every soul froze at his words. The Creator has returned. Wise, Vados, and the Grand Priest were already on one knee, their eyes cast downward, not from fear, but reverence. Their halos dimmed, a symbolic gesture of humility before the one who birthed even the concept of their divinity. The other angels followed almost immediately. Kusu, the angel of Universe 10, trembled as she knelt, bowing her head so low it nearly touched the marble platform beneath her. Margarita of Universe 11 looked shaken, her usual teasing expression gone. Campari of Universe 3 whispered something ancient in the angelic tongue as he pressed his forehead to the floor. The gods of destruction were slower. Beerus stood stunned. Champa swallowed hard, sweat beating down his temple. Heels clenched her fists as though resisting the instinct to kneel. Sidra collapsed, not from reverence alone, but the sheer pressure of divine origin. What do you mean, Creator? Belmod, the god of destruction of Universe 11, managed to say, his voice shaking but sharp. Naruto did not answer immediately. He stood quietly in the air, golden light swirling faintly around him, not in waves, but in gentle, constant motion. His gaze turned toward Belmod. And then something happened. Reality itself folded slightly around Naruto's body, as though the laws of physics sought to serve him. The arena's ground shimmered beneath his floating feet, runes older than any written language glowing softly with each breath he took. I created this multiverse, Naruto said simply. His voice wasn't loud, but it echoed in every god's mind. From the dimensions of time to the breath in your lungs, before Zeno, before angels, before destruction or creation, there was only me. Silence. Then Wise spoke. It is the truth, he said solemnly, rising to one knee, still bowing. He is the one who forged the laws we merely maintain. Every soul, Vados added, her voice softer than usual. Every divine being is his echo. The Grand Priest bowed again, even deeper. My existence itself is thanks to you, Creator Sama. I have waited eons to kneel once more. Beerus fell to one knee without another word. Champa followed, begrudging but understanding. The rest of the gods of destruction bowed one by one, until only Belmod and Heels remained. Zeno turned toward them. His expression didn't change, but the air around him grew stiller. Will you not bow to the one who made even me? Heels, lips trembling, finally dropped to her knees, her pride shattered not by force, but by the truth that pulsed in every atom. Belmod gritted his teeth and knelt. Only then did Naruto descend slowly, placing one foot gently on the arena floor. It didn't crack. Instead, golden lotus petals bloomed where he landed, vanishing after a moment like breath on glass. He turned toward Zeno. You've done well, he said kindly. All of you have. Zeno beamed, childlike and proud. Naruto turned toward the warriors. Goku stood speechless, unsure if he should bow or speak. Naruto smiled at him. Continue the fight. I want to see how much my creations have grown. As Goku nodded, unsure but respectful, the other warriors hesitated. But with Zeno clapping excitedly and the gods still kneeling in reverence, they had no choice but to obey. The tournament resumed, yet every blow, every move was under the watchful gaze of the true god, the being who needed no title, no aura of intimidation, for his presence alone was absolute. And in the hearts of angels and gods alike, one truth now burned bright. He was not a myth, he was not a legend. He was back. A serene glow spread across the arena, quieting even the murmurs of the gods and warriors. The golden presence of Naruto remained calm, as if the passage of time itself bent gently around him. Then, without a word, the scene shifted, not outwardly, but in the collective consciousness of those present. The air shimmered like a ripple across a still pond, and memories long forgotten were pulled from the depths of eternity to the forefront of existence. The divine assembly found themselves witnessing a vision, the birth of everything. Far beyond the reaches of any known universe, beyond time, space, and even the concept of cause and effect, a figure stood alone in infinite nothingness. It was Naruto, yet not the boy known to mortals, nor the warrior who fought battles for honor and survival. This Naruto radiated a celestial light so pure, it was the very essence of creation. With a deliberate hand, he shaped the void, breathing into it the first pulse of life and existence. From his fingertips flowed streams of energy that birthed stars, galaxies, and entire dimensions, complex, intricate, and interconnected. Amid this divine forge, Naruto sculpted beings not of flesh or chakra, but of pure cosmic will. He raised his hand, and from his palm emerged a pair of glowing orbs, twin orbs of supreme authority. From these, he molded the first Zenos, embodiments of universal balance and judgment, tasked with overseeing the order of all creation. Beside them, he fashioned the Grand Priest, the celestial architect whose mind could unravel the threads of reality and maintain harmony across the vast multiverse. And then came the angels, ethereal entities of grace and power, each imbued with divine purpose and unwavering loyalty. They were charged with guiding the gods of destruction, ensuring that the delicate equilibrium between creation and annihilation was never broken. The vision lingered on Naruto's face, calm, almost wistful, as he whispered words that echoed through the cosmos. Free will shall be the greatest test. I shall watch unseen and see what blossoms from my creation. Then the vision faded. Back in the arena, Zeno's childlike eyes gleamed with a new clarity. His voice, usually light and whimsical, carried the weight of millennia as he addressed the gathering. You now understand, do you not? Zeno said softly. Naruto is not simply a god among gods. He is the origin of all that exists, the supreme being who created even me, the grand priest, and the angels. He sealed away his power to watch how his creations would grow, learn, and choose their own paths. Wise nodded solemnly beside him. His choice to vanish was not abandonment, but faith in the strength of free will. It is rare for a creator to trust their creations so deeply. Champa exchanged a glance with Beerus, his usual smugness replaced by something more contemplative. So this, Naruto, is beyond anything we imagined. Zeno laughed, a pure, unburdened sound. I have waited for this moment, to show you all the truth and to welcome him back. He comes not as a tyrant, but as a watcher and a friend. Naruto's golden eyes met theirs all around. I have seen worlds rise and fall, gods fall into darkness, and mortals defy fate. Now it is time for me to walk among you once more, not as a ruler, but as one who created all possibilities. The gods exchanged uncertain looks, awed, humbled, and yet filled with curiosity. The grand tapestry of existence had shifted irrevocably. And in that moment, every god, angel, and mortal understood one unshakable truth. The unseen hand behind their destinies had returned to witness the choices they would make. The arena still hummed with the echoes of revelation when Naruto lifted a single hand, the gesture so effortless it seemed almost bored. With a slow, graceful motion, he waved once toward the vast expanse beyond the stadium's borders. In that instant, the remnants of collapsed universes shimmered into view, fragments of existence long thought lost, swallowed by time or calamity. Stars reignited. Planets reformed. Life surged anew like a breath caught in the void, returning to vibrant vitality. A chorus of gasps rose from the crowd. Champa's eyes widened, disbelief and awe battling for dominance. He just restored dead universes with a flick of his wrist. His voice barely masked the tremor of incredulity. Beerus, usually quick to anger, stared silently, the sharp edges of his usual disdain softened by wonder. Naruto's golden aura pulsed gently as he turned toward the watching gods and angels. It was never about destruction or creation alone, Naruto said with a relaxed smile, the casual confidence of one who held infinite power yet chose to savor each moment. It's about balance and the freedom for all things to exist, grow, and change. The Grand Priest's eyes gleamed. Your grace is boundless, Creator-sama. Zeno clapped his hands gleefully, his excitement contagious. Now that you're back, we have much to discuss. Come with me. Naruto nodded, the smile never fading. Without further hesitation, a gateway shimmering with raw divine energy opened before them, a portal to Zeno's palace, a place few mortals or even gods had seen in its full glory. One by one, the gods of destruction and Kais from every universe were summoned, their arrivals marked by bursts of light and thunderous silence. The assembly gathered within the palace's sprawling halls, an architecture of impossible geometry and infinite space, crafted by the will of the Creator himself. Zeno's voice rang out, warm but commanding. This is a new era, he declared. The return of Naruto marks a turning point for all existence. The old rules no longer apply. Naruto stepped forward, his presence steady and magnetic. I invite all of you, gods of destruction and Kais alike, to listen closely. Together, we will forge a new order, one where your roles evolve and your powers find new purpose. Some looked uneasy, others curious. But none could deny the undeniable gravity in his words. Naruto continued, his tone both serene and resolute. I have watched from afar, letting free will guide you all. But now, I am here to ensure the multiverse thrives in ways I could only dream of before. There will be challenges, alliances, and conflicts, but through it all, I will walk beside you. Wise's eyes shimmered with unspoken excitement. It appears the Creator is ready to teach us once again. The gods of destruction exchanged cautious glances. Beerus finally spoke, breaking the silence with a grunt. Fine. Let's see what you've got, Creator. Naruto's smile deepened, eyes sparkling with infinite possibilities. This is just the beginning. The grand hall of Zeno's palace stretched beyond comprehension, its walls a shimmering canvas reflecting countless stars, galaxies, and the swirling fabric of spacetime itself. Here, the gods of all 12 universes had assembled, a gathering unprecedented in its magnitude and significance. Each deity, Kais, gods of destruction, and their attendants, stood with varied expressions ranging from reverence to suspicion. The air buzzed with the electric hum of divine energy, an atmosphere thick with anticipation and silent challenge. Zeno floated above them, small and innocent in appearance, yet radiating absolute authority. With a broad smile, he waved his tiny hands, capturing everyone's attention. My friends, Zeno's voice echoed like a melody across the chamber. Today, you meet the one who created everything, the one you call Naruto, the supreme being who existed before gods and universes alike. The assembled deities turned their gaze as the golden light coalesced into Naruto's figure. He appeared casual, clad in flowing robes woven from pure light, his aura calm yet impossibly vast. Naruto's eyes scanned the crowd, and then, one by one, he extended his hand. From each palm, tendrils of radiant energy spiraled outward, enveloping the gods and goddesses in visions. These visions unfolded vividly in their minds. A boundless void, a single point of light igniting into a universe, a silhouette of Naruto shaping stars, breathing life into the void. The birth of Zeno, the Grand Priest, and the angels, all as Naruto's deliberate creations. Worlds flourishing and perishing, destinies shaped and broken, all under the watchful eye of their creator, who had chosen to withdraw and observe. Some deities gasped at the immensity of the revelation, their understanding deepened by the raw experience of seeing the multiverse's true origin. Yet as awe swept the hall, two figures remained unmoved. Belmod, the god of destruction of Universe 11, narrowed his eyes, lips curling in disdain. Beside him, Quitla, Universe 4's god of destruction, crossed his arms, his posture stiff and unyielding. You expect us to accept this, child as the source of all power? Belmod's voice was cold, laced with contempt. We, who have maintained order and balance through countless eons, Quitla scoffed. An infant playing with God's roles. This revelation challenges everything we stand for. Naruto's gaze shifted toward the dissenters, steady, unwavering. The light around him deepened, and an aura of absolute command radiated outward, pressing down like the weight of an unshakable truth. Without uttering a word, Naruto's eyes locked onto Belmod and Quitla. The hall fell into a profound silence, the energy in the air thickening as if reality itself awaited his next move. Then, with nothing more than that unyielding look, both gods' defiance faltered. Their bodies tensed, and their eyes betrayed a mix of fear and grudging respect. Belmod's scowl softened imperceptibly, while Quitla's arms uncrossed, the challenge draining from his posture. Naruto's voice, when it came, was calm and resonant. There is no need for resistance. I do not seek to diminish your strength or roles. Instead, I offer a new path, one forged in truth and balance. Zeno floated forward, clapping his hands with joyful enthusiasm. See, even the toughest gods understand the truth once they witness the Creator's presence. The assembly breathed collectively, the tension easing but not fully dissipated. Naruto turned, his eyes scanning the room. This gathering is not just a reunion, it is the foundation for what comes next. Together, we will shape the future of all existence. The gods looked at one another, some still uncertain, others inspired, but all aware that nothing would ever be the same again. And in that moment, the universe held its breath. The golden light of the Creator bathed the grand hall in warmth, casting elongated shadows over the gathered gods. While the gods of destruction and Kais exchanged cautious glances, a different energy stirred among the angels, those ethereal beings bound by duty yet capable of profound grace. Vados, poised with her ever-composed elegance, stepped forward first. Her serene eyes met Naruto's, glowing with reverence and a subtle flicker of something deeper. Beside her, Margarita's usually mischievous smile softened into a look of sincere admiration. Kus, the ever-watchful guardian, maintained her calm demeanor, but the way she lingered near Naruto betrayed an unspoken respect and quiet awe. Naruto turned his gaze to the trio. the smile on his lips gentle yet carrying the weight of infinite wisdom. You have been the silent pillars of the multiverse, guiding your universes with wisdom, grace, and unwavering strength, Naruto said, his voice like a soothing melody. Your devotion to balance and growth has not gone unnoticed. The angels inclined their heads in unison, a graceful chorus of loyalty and dedication. Vados's voice, soft but resolute, answered, "It is our honor to serve the divine order you have created, Creator-sama. We have watched and protected, guided and nurtured." Margarita's eyes sparkled with a rare vulnerability as she added, "In your absence, we upheld the balance, but your return rekindles a light within us." Kuss nodded silently, her gaze steady and unwavering, yet those who looked closely could sense the respect and something more, a deep personal devotion. Naruto's smile deepened, sensing the subtle currents beneath their devotion. Though his role was supreme, he was not oblivious to the feelings emanating from these celestial beings. The attraction, the admiration, and the unspoken longing to be near the one who created all. "You are more than guides," Naruto said quietly, voice threaded with warmth. "You are reflections of the divine will, embodiments of grace that inspire not only mortals but gods as well." The angels exchanged brief, knowing glances, a delicate tension threading through the room like a whispered secret. Zeno floated nearby, his childlike laughter cutting through the quiet. "They all like you, Naruto. You're their favorite." Naruto chuckled softly, a rare lightness touching his features. "I am honored by your loyalty and your hearts." Though his words were measured, the connection between Naruto and the angels was unmistakable, an unspoken bond woven for millennia of shared purpose and quiet admiration. As the gods observed this subtle exchange, it became clear that the Creator's return was not merely a shift in cosmic order, but a rekindling of relationships forged in the depths of eternity. The angels remained close, their presence a shimmering aura of devotion that surrounded Naruto like a radiant halo. And somewhere deep within the palace's infinite expanse, the future whispered promises of alliance, companionship, and perhaps something more profound yet to unfold. The grand hall hummed with an undercurrent of excitement and tension. The assembled gods, gods of destruction, kais, and angels, still reeling from the revelations and the subtle currents of devotion, now faced a new proposition from the Creator himself. Naruto stood tall, his presence radiating calm authority and an inscrutable warmth. The light around him seemed to pulse with quiet energy as he spoke, his voice steady and commanding, yet inviting. "To understand where we stand, where you all stand, I propose a divine test," Naruto said, eyes gleaming with a hint of playful challenge. "A tournament among gods. Not just of strength, but of wisdom, resolve, and spirit." A murmur rippled through the gathering. Some gods exchanged skeptical glances, others nodded thoughtfully. Beerus grunted, arms crossed. "Another fight. You sure you want to watch us tear each other apart?" Naruto's smile was patient, unfazed. "This is no mere battle. It will reveal your growth, your hearts, and your capacity to evolve." Zeno clapped enthusiastically, bouncing with glee. "Yes, a tournament. This is going to be so much fun." The Kais whispered among themselves, curiosity and cautious hope sparking in their eyes. Belmod's skeptical gaze flicked toward Naruto, but he said nothing, his silence more telling than any objection. Naruto raised a hand, silencing the hall. "Each universe will send its champions, chosen not only for power but for character. This test will push you to your limits and beyond. It will be a chance to grow, to learn, and to understand the true essence of divine strength." The gods, united in varying degrees of anticipation and wariness, gave their assent. The promise of challenge and revelation stirred something deep within them. Yet beneath the surface, Naruto's gaze was piercing. He was not merely interested in raw power or flashy displays of might. His eyes sought deeper qualities. Resilience, humility, compassion, cunning, and the ability to rise after defeat. He had watched eons unfold, observed civilizations rise and fall, but this was different. This was his chance to measure the divine beings entrusted with his creation, to see if they had truly embraced the freedom of will he had granted, or if they had fallen into old patterns of pride and destruction. As the gods began to discuss the logistics, choosing their representatives and strategies, Naruto retreated to a quiet vantage point. From here, he would observe, not only the battles but the unseen currents. The alliances forged, the rivalries sparked, and the hearts revealed in moments of trial. The angels hovered nearby, their loyalty unwavering, eyes glittering with anticipation and something softer, a tender hope in the unfolding drama. Are you certain this is wise? Vados asked gently, standing beside him. Testing gods is dangerous, even for one as powerful as you. Naruto's gaze softened but remained resolute. True growth comes from challenge. They must learn to wield their power with wisdom and heart. I will guide them, not with force, but with understanding. The first challengers were already preparing in the cosmic arenas, energies flaring, wills hardening. The stage was set for a tournament unlike any the multiverse had ever seen. A divine crucible where power was but one thread woven into the tapestry of true godhood. And Naruto, the creator, watched silently, the spark of excitement flickering in his eyes. This was just the beginning. The Eternal Arena was a marvel beyond mortal comprehension, an immense coliseum that floated suspended in the vastness of space, its walls shimmering with the energy of countless stars. Universes blurred in the background as the gods gathered, their auras flaring in anticipation of the tournament that would test their might, wisdom, and spirit. The opening clashes erupted with thunderous force. Gods of destruction and Kais faced off in dazzling displays of power. Energy blasts lit up the arena, shockwaves rippled through the void, and bursts of speed blurred movements into streaks of light. Beerus moved with lethal grace, matching Champa's ferocity. Vados guided with calm precision, and Margarita's presence inspired her comrades. Each fight was a spectacle of divine strength and strategy, pushing combatants to their limits. The crowd, composed of angels, minor deities, and cosmic observers, watched breathless, caught in the thrill of raw, godly conflict. Yet amid the chaos, Naruto observed quietly from a vantage point above the arena, his serene gaze studying the ebb and flow of the battles. He had seen all this before, powerful beings locked in combat, but something was missing: true mastery, true balance. Suddenly, during a fierce duel between two gods whose names echoed with authority, one known for destruction, the other for cunning, Naruto's attention sharpened. The clash reached a crescendo, energy crackling dangerously close to breaking containment. Naruto's lips curved into a faint smile. With a blink, effortless and smooth, he intervened. Time itself seemed to pause. In a single, fluid motion, Naruto's hands moved. One flick, and the two combatants were disarmed, sent sprawling back with no damage but complete surprise. The arena fell into stunned silence. The gods who had been fighting blinked in disbelief, struggling to comprehend the impossibility. Naruto's voice echoed calmly through the vast space. Enough! He stepped forward, his aura flaring with a golden light so pure and immense it dwarfed all others present. I have watched your power, your determination. Yet you must understand that true strength is not merely in destruction or domination. With barely any effort, Naruto raised a hand again. A gentle motion, and the two gods were lifted and suspended midair, still unharmed but utterly powerless. A ripple of shock swept through the assembled deities. Naruto's eyes gleamed with a divine fire. This is my true strength, he declared. Not to destroy indiscriminately, but to command with precision, to shape with intention, and to protect with wisdom. He looked at the gods around him, some awestruck, others humbled, a few quietly fearful. This power is what you must strive to understand. I am not your enemy. I am the creator who gave you existence. Let this exhibition remind you, your journey toward godhood is far from complete. With a subtle smile, Naruto released the two gods, who landed gently and bowed deeply, acknowledging the overwhelming truth. The eternal arena echoed with a profound silence, the kind that follows revelation. Naruto retreated from the center, blending into the luminous backdrop of stars, watching the tournament continue with renewed purpose. The gods fought on, now with a deeper understanding of the stakes, and the path that awaited them. The aftermath of Naruto's display lingered in the air like an electric charge, filling the cosmic hall with a reverberating stillness. The gods had witnessed power beyond their comprehension, and the angels' devotion to the Creator seemed to deepen with every passing moment. Yet beneath the surface, a subtle unrest began to ripple through the ranks of the divine. Among the male angels and gods, a quiet tension simmered. Eyes narrowed and clenched fists betrayed feelings that refused to be masked by formal decorum. Watching the female angels, Vados, Margarita, Cuss, move with an almost ethereal grace around Naruto, some could not help but feel annoying unease. Belmont's cold glare flicked repeatedly toward the female trio, his pride pricked by the evident admiration they held for the creator. Quitela whispered his displeasure to a nearby god. It is unwise to be so captivated by one so far beyond us. Yet here they flock like moths to a flame. Even among the Kais, murmurs echoed of jealousy and confusion, a blend of respect and rivalry stirring beneath their calm exteriors. The Grand Priest, ever vigilant and inscrutable, observed the gathering storm with a measured gaze. His voice, when it came, cut through the murmur like a blade tempered in celestial steel. You cannot compete with the one who made all, he declared, his tone absolute and unwavering. Naruto is the origin, the beginning, and the end. To challenge him is to challenge existence itself. The assembly fell silent, absorbing the weight of his words. Vados stepped forward, her serene expression unshaken. It is not a competition, but a union of purpose. We serve to guide and protect, not to conquer or possess. But the unease lingered, a quiet shadow beneath the dazzling light of the Creator's return. Naruto, sensing the undercurrents, chose not to address them directly. Instead, he radiated calm assurance, a silent reminder that his place was beyond mortal envy and divine rivalry. The seeds of jealousy had been sown, subtle but potent, promising challenges not just of power, but of hearts and loyalties in the epochs to come. Beyond the luminous halls of Zeno's palace and the watchful eyes of the gods, Naruto stepped through the veils of time and space. His presence was a gentle ripple across the endless streams of existence, a silent guardian moving through dimensions with effortless grace. He passed through shattered worlds where forgotten civilizations lay buried beneath eons of dust. With a wave of his hand, worlds that had crumbled into chaos shimmered and healed, cities rose, skies cleared, and the vibrant pulse of life surged anew. These were echoes of realities once lost, now reborn under his touch. Yet not all journeys were acts of creation alone. Some places held fractures, chaotic anomalies born from unchecked power, careless use of forbidden arts, or the collision of conflicting timelines. Naruto sealed these rifts with careful precision, weaving strands of order through threads of entropy. His path led him to a timeline torn by relentless war and despair, one where a young warrior named Trunks fought desperately to change a doomed future. Naruto observed, unseen, as Trunks battled overwhelming odds to protect what remained of his world. In a rare act of direct intervention, Naruto's presence stabilized the fragile flow of time around Trunks' reality. Subtle shifts in energy, gentle currents of divine grace, these small changes bolstered the timeline's resilience. The chaotic storms threatening to unravel it calmed, allowing hope to endure. Yet Naruto remained an observer, a guardian who refrained from altering destiny too heavily. He understood the delicate balance of free will and fate, choosing instead to guide with a light touch, ensuring that paths could be walked without falling into ruin. His travels continued across countless realms, each step a testament to his boundless power and enduring compassion. Though his true nature remained hidden from all but a select few, his impact rippled throughout the multiverse, a quiet force shaping the destiny of all existence. As he vanished once more into the folds of time, the worlds he touched shimmered with renewed life, whispering of the mysterious creator who walked among the stars. The stars beyond Zeno's palace shimmered with a quiet brilliance as the female angels gathered in the sacred halls, their elegant forms radiating a serene light that seemed to pulse with unspoken devotion. Vados, Margarita, Cuss, and others stood side by side, their gazes unified in purpose, a decision born from reverence and a deeper yearning. They sought to serve not just as guides or watchers, but as attendants to Naruto himself. The creator returned, a being whose presence transcended all realms and who stirred something profound within them. When they approached him, it was with grace and humility, their voices like melodies woven from starlight. Lord Naruto, Vados began, her tone reverent yet resolute, we wish to dedicate ourselves directly to you, to serve by your side, to learn, and to guide with your wisdom. Naruto regarded them with a warmth that transcended time and space. His smile was gentle, an acknowledgement of their loyalty and strength. Then come, he said softly, to my dimension, where time bends to my will and creation breathes anew. A ripple in the fabric of reality opened before them, an ethereal palace shimmering with golden light, floating in a realm where stars danced in silent harmony. This was the divine court, a sanctuary fashioned by Naruto's hand, a place where gods and angels alike could find balance and purpose. Here, the female angels took their places as attendants, each embodying elegance, wisdom, and strength. Yet, beneath the divine formality blossomed something more intimate, a connection forged not by obligation, but by mutual respect and genuine affection. Their interactions were marked by delicate gestures, shared laughter, and quiet moments beneath starlit skies that whispered of companionship beyond duty. The harem was not one of mere possession or control. It was a union of souls, a constellation of hearts orbiting a singular sun, the creator himself. Naruto welcomed their presence, valuing the harmony they brought to his eternal existence. Each angel offered unique insight, counsel, and companionship, weaving a tapestry of grace around him. The divine court became a beacon of balance, power tempered by compassion, strength softened by loyalty. And so, the seeds of a divine harem took root, nurtured by elegance, trust, and the subtle dance of devotion. Far beyond the luminous realms where gods and angels dwelled, in the shadowed depths of the void that existed before creation, a stirring began, a tremor in the fabric of the abyss itself. This place was older than stars, older than time, a forgotten space untouched by light or order. Here, in the infinite darkness, something long dormant was awakening. It was a force born not from design or intention, but from the chaotic churn of the void, an ancient entity whose existence had slipped through the cracks of creation, unnoticed and unloved. Neither god nor demon, it was a being forged from pure emptiness, an accident of cosmic entropy. As Naruto's presence grew stronger in the multiverse, ripples of his power spread even to this forsaken realm. The creator's return shattered the silence, disturbing the void's uneasy stillness. The entity stirred, its awareness flickering like a dying star reignited. It sensed Naruto, not merely as a force of light or order, but as a rival, a being whose very existence overshadowed its own. A seething envy took root within this primordial creature. It hungered not for destruction alone, but for recognition, for power that might finally eclipse the creator who had crafted everything, yet abandoned this forsaken fragment of existence. Its form began to coalesce, shifting like smoke and shadow, intangible yet brimming with raw, chaotic energy. It was the embodiment of jealousy itself, an antithesis to Naruto's divine harmony. This being born from the void before time, whispered promises of upheaval, its voice a cold echo reverberating across the cosmos. If the creator returns, it murmured, then I shall rise. Where light casts shadows, so too must darkness claim its place. Unseen and unheard by gods and angels alike, the chaos beyond gathered strength, readying itself for the moment it could challenge the very foundation of existence. Naruto's return had rekindled more than hope and devotion. It had awakened a darkness as ancient as creation itself. Far from the glittering courts of gods and the shimmering halls of angels, the shadow of the abyss crept silently into a distant universe. This realm, once vibrant and filled with life, now felt the cold chill of corruption as the dark force born from the void seeped into its very fabric. The entity's tendrils, like creeping smoke laced with malice, entwined around the universe's core, twisting light into shadow, peace into chaos. It sought to unravel the harmony Naruto had woven, to stain the purity of existence with its jealous darkness. At the heart of this universe stood one of its gods of destruction, once proud and resolute, now trembling under the corrupting influence. His once radiant angel, a beacon of guidance and balance, faltered, her wings darkened, her eyes clouded by despair. Their forms contorted, the corruption gnawing away at their divine essence, threatening to consume them utterly. But before the darkness could tighten its grip, a presence manifested, a calm, radiant light piercing through the shroud of shadow. Naruto appeared, his form serene yet commanding, a calm storm in the midst of chaos. His eyes, deep pools of ancient wisdom, reflected no fear or anger, only an unyielding resolve. With a mere gesture, the corrupting darkness recoiled, as if scorched by an invisible flame. The dark force hissed, writhing in defiance, but Naruto's power enveloped it like a wave, unrelenting and absolute. He moved with effortless grace, closing the distance between himself and the entity in the blink of an eye. The clash was silent yet immense, energy folding upon energy, light unmaking shadow. Within moments, the dark force was shattered, its twisted tendrils evaporating into nothingness, as if they had never been. Turning to the corrupted god and angel, Naruto extended his hands, channeling a pure, cleansing light that seeped into their beings. The darkness that had clouded their souls was washed away, leaving behind clarity, warmth, and renewed strength. The god's form straightened, his eyes clearing to reveal gratitude and awe. The angel's wings shimmered once more with radiant light, her smile gentle yet resolute. Naruto's voice was soft but unwavering. This darkness will never claim what I have created. As long as I stand, balance shall endure. And with that, he vanished, leaving behind a universe restored, and a reminder that the Creator's presence was the ultimate shield against the abyss. The vast expanse between universes shimmered softly as two familiar figures approached, a warrior clad in orange and blue, his spiky hair unmistakable, and another radiating a fierce, unyielding aura. Goku and Vegeta had come, drawn by the whispers of the Creator's return, their curiosity and respect palpable. Naruto awaited them in a realm where time flowed differently, an ethereal plane bathed in golden light and infinite space, untouched by mortal limits. Goku's eyes shone with excitement and reverence. "So, you're the one who made everything, that's incredible." Vegeta's gaze was sharp, skeptical yet intrigued. "If you're really that powerful, then show us something." Naruto smiled gently, a warmth that belied his unimaginable power. "You both have reached heights most cannot fathom. I will share fragments of divine knowledge, techniques to harmonize your energy, to transcend even your current forms." With a subtle motion, Naruto extended his hand, releasing a cascade of radiant energy that enveloped Goku and Vegeta. The energy wasn't overwhelming, but resonated deeply within their spirits, awakening latent potential and refining their mastery over Ultra Instinct and Ultra Ego. Goku's senses sharpened, his body moving with a fluid grace he had never known. Vegeta's aura flared, his attacks gaining an elegant precision tempered by divine insight. Eager to test their newfound power, Goku bowed slightly and challenged, "Want to spar, Naruto? Let's see how I measure up." Naruto's smile deepened, eyes gleaming with amusement. "Very well." As the sparring began, Naruto moved with a speed and subtlety beyond perception. Goku strained, trying to track his movements, but each strike and dodge was a blur, an echo in the air that vanished before it could be grasped. The gap between mortal and divine was undeniable. No matter how hard Goku pushed, Naruto's form remained elusive, untouchable, a force of nature itself. Vegeta watched, respect growing within him. "He's on another level entirely." As the sparring ended, Naruto's voice was calm yet encouraging. "You have taken the first steps toward a higher understanding. Continue to train, and perhaps one day you will approach true divinity." Goku grinned, his excitement undimmed. "Thanks, Naruto, I'll keep pushing." Vegeta nodded, a rare smile breaking his stern facade. "We won't lose to you or anyone else." With a final nod, Naruto vanished into the cosmic currents, leaving behind a spark of inspiration that would drive the Saiyans toward even greater heights. In the boundless expanse of existence, where countless stars shimmered like scattered jewels, Naruto stood at the center of creation's fabric, his presence radiating a serene yet overwhelming power. The multiverse, vast, complex, and ever-changing, was about to be reborn under his watchful gaze. With a simple, deliberate motion, Naruto extended his hands toward the cosmic web, feeling the threads of reality pulse beneath his fingertips. The structure of the multiverse, fragile and imperfect after eons of chaos and neglect, responded instantly to his will. New universes blossomed from the void, each unique in nature, brimming with possibilities. Galactic clusters spiraled into being, vibrant with life and energy. Species thought long extinct returned, awakened from the slumber of oblivion, their histories renewed and their destinies rewritten. Naruto's mind, ancient and infinite, wove balance and harmony into every creation. He envisioned worlds where light and shadow coexisted, where growth and decay were but parts of an eternal cycle. Turning his attention to the divine beings entrusted with maintaining cosmic order, Naruto summoned the female angels, Vados, Margarita, Cuss, and others, each radiant and poised, their wings shimmering with ethereal light. "You have guided your universes with wisdom and grace," Naruto said, his voice both gentle and commanding. "Now, you will take on new roles in the order I establish, a council to oversee the multiverse's rebirth and ensure harmony across all realms." He assigned each angel a unique charge. Vados would oversee the flow of time and balance temporal energies. Margarita was entrusted with nurturing life and fostering growth in nascent universes. Cuss would guard the boundaries between realms, preventing chaos from spilling into order. Their eyes shone with pride and determination as they accepted their responsibilities, bound not just by duty, but by the honor of serving the true creator. The council formed beneath Naruto's gaze, a convergence of divine purpose and unyielding devotion. Together, they would maintain the new order, a celestial symphony of balance and justice. As the multiverse flourished anew, Naruto smiled, a rare glimpse of satisfaction on his eternal face. This was not merely power, it was stewardship, a sacred trust bestowed upon those chosen to shape the fate of all existence. And with the new order in place, the cosmos would thrive under his watchful presence, forever changed by the hand of the Supreme Being who had returned. In a sanctuary beyond the flow of time, where stars whispered secrets only the eternal could hear, Naruto stood surrounded by a radiant circle of light. Around him, 4 female angels, Vados, Margarita, Cuss, and Corn, glowed with ethereal beauty, their wings folding gracefully, their eyes reflecting both reverence and something deeper, a spark of connection that transcended the mortal and the divine. Naruto's gaze softened as he reached out, his hand resting gently on Vados' shoulder. You have served with wisdom beyond measure. I choose you, not only as a guardian of time but as my eternal consort. Vados' eyes shimmered with tears, a quiet smile blooming. The connection sparked instantly, not just a bond of duty, but of souls intertwined beyond comprehension. One by one, Naruto spoke the same sacred words to Margarita, whose nurturing spirit now wove itself into the very essence of his being. To Cuss, the vigilant guardian whose strength balanced his own, and to Corn, whose mysterious grace had long captivated him. Their bond was more than union, it was fusion of spirit and purpose, a harmony of existence that placed them outside the flow of linear time. Together, they existed in a realm where moments stretched and bent, where laughter and whispered promises echoed in eternity. Naruto drew them close, hands gentle, touches tender, as their energies mingled, a dance of light and warmth that transcended the physical. The angels felt the depth of his ancient soul, a wellspring of power tempered by kindness and longing. Here, in this sacred space, Naruto murmured, we are more than creator and guardian. We are bound beyond fate, beyond duty. Together we will shape eternity. Soft smiles turned into delicate kisses, ethereal and sweet like the merging of starlight and dawn. The intimacy was gentle, reverent, divine. As they embraced, the cosmos outside seemed to pulse with approval. Stars shining brighter in silent celebration of the bond, forged between the Supreme Being and his eternal consorts. This was not possession, but partnership, a sacred dance of trust, love, and unending devotion that would echo across the multiverse for all time. In the vast hall of creation, a cathedral of infinite light and celestial grandeur, Naruto sat upon his throne, a seat forged from the essence of stars and the fabric of reality itself. His presence was calm yet commanding, a supreme being whose power permeated every corner of existence. Around him stood his consorts, Vados, Margarita, Cuss, and Corn, each radiating a serene beauty and unwavering loyalty. Their wings folded elegantly, their eyes shining with adoration and profound respect. Near them, the other angels, embodiments of grace and wisdom, formed a luminous circle of divine protectors and attendants. Beside Naruto stood Zeno, the ruler of the multiverse's 12 universes, his childlike form now framed by a quiet strength and infinite trust. Under Naruto's fatherly gaze, Zeno seemed peaceful, safe, no longer the isolated child who once bore the weight of cosmic order alone. Naruto's eyes swept over the expanse beyond the hall, universes alive with stars, life blooming in countless forms, and balance maintained by the newly forged divine order. A soft smile graced his lips as he spoke, his voice carrying the weight and warmth of creation itself. Let peace last until the stars forget to shine. The words rippled through the multiverse like a benediction, a vow sealed in light and time. From the farthest edges of existence to the core of every universe, a sense of harmony blossomed. The chaos that once threatened to unravel creation was quelled, replaced by the steady rhythm of cosmic order. Naruto leaned back, surrounded by his consorts and loyal angels, the eternal king and creator whose presence alone ensured the safety and flourishing of all. And as the stars continued their endless dance, the multiverse thrived beneath the gaze of its supreme being, a protector, a lover, a god. Here, in this moment beyond time, Naruto was home.